What up? I'm doing some more live streaming of some remix example stuff. I was working on Infinite Scroll yesterday and came with two examples that were pretty good. But I think I want to shift gears to work on things that more people are running into. I was talking with Ryan and he's like, yeah, those are really good things to work on, but there are some like really simple things that people are running into, and it'd be cool to have some more examples of how to do some of these more simple things. And I've got like this long list of examples that I want to build out anyway. And so I just focus or prioritize the ones that people seem to be running into a lot more. So I'm just looking at, I've got like this giant list. Let me make sure that I close out some stuff that doesn't need to be open before I share my screen. And I suppose that I should pull up the YouTube thing for folks. If you want to chat, then you can feel free to do that. And as long as people are nice and not don't say mean things, then I will keep that open. And I will share a link to this in the Discord also. There we go. Yeah, cool. So let's go ahead and share screen. And we'll do VS Code. Here we are. We're in Remix. Hooray! And we're going to go into the examples directory. And let's see. I've got this remix command that allows me to make a remix app really quickly. It's pretty simple. But let's see. So I've got, I don't know why this is assigned to me. I think I was supposed to review something or something, but I'm working on examples right now. So, route-based modal. Yeah, we worked on that one last week, didn't we? Or maybe that was 2 weeks ago. Disable JS is kind of a sort of common one, not as common. Resource route for generating CSS. Definitely fun, but not very common. Not as common as other things. React query. Also not super common. MSW, definitely like that's a pretty useful one, but probably not highest priority. Multiple forms and multiple params, both of those are probably the biggest common thing. So let's go with multiple params first. That'll be a pretty big one. So let's make multiple params. Okay, sweet. And let's pull this up. So the thing about my, where is that? There we go. Thing about my remix starter is it has nothing in it. There's nothing there, but it is working. So let's, there we go. For examples, infinite scroll, I'll delete that directory, I don't need that. Multiple params, here we are. And here's our app. Okay. Yeah, so what we want is basically a routes with, you know what? Actually, I could probably just do like a simple version of this. So routes/sales/invoices/invoice ID. You know what? How about this? Instead of that, we'll do routes/clients/client ID/invoices/invoice ID. That's what we can do. Routes, clients, client ID, invoices, invoice ID, TSX. Yep. And we'll have an index TSX there, in there as well. And then we'll have an index TSX right here, as well as our client ID TSX. Hold on a second. Rosapedia, which I think I know your name, but I cannot recall it right now. I see you around on Twitter, and now you can tell me your name. I'm sorry, but Nard. Yeah, when I see NRD, I think nerd, but yeah, Nard, the Nard dog. That makes sense too. I feel like I'm doing something wrong actually. And that's what the URL should look like. But here, let's back this up. Let's think about this properly. So we're going to have a routes index TSX. That's for sure. And then inside of that, we're going to do slash clients. So we'll want what the client should look like, and then the client route clients slash index TSX. So like this is our default of what should be shown if we aren't showing a client ID. And then we'll have client ID TSX. So this is what's showing. Yeah, so this is what's showing on the client ID route. I think though, yeah, okay. And then we'll have a client ID slash, you know what, actually let's just start from right here. I think it'll be easier to think about things as we build it from here. So we'll make not an action remix component, and this is our index route, and we'll have index route hello from the index route. Okay, and then we'll have our outlet. Oh, actually the index route is not going to have an outlet. That's a terminal route. I don't know if that's what we're officially calling it, but that's what we should officially call it. Okay, it's Brian. Hi, Brian. Okay, cool. So yeah, then we'll have slash clients route, and this, maybe we'll add loaders for funsies, I don't know. But we'll say h1 clients. And this is not a terminal route, this is a parent route. And it's not coming from React Router DOM, it's coming from Remix. And Darius is PRD because he uses P and PM like the cool kids. Yeah. Yeah, and everywhere you turn, you have to be like, what about PM support? That's what TypeScript used to be though, so there's that. Okay, so by default, this is going to be our terminal route for the client index route. And we'll say this is our H2 client index. And we can make all this a lot cooler a little bit. Oh, I forgot to hit play. Whoa! Hold on a second. That's what I wanted to hit play for. And bump that up. There we go. Sorry if that was like super loud all of a sudden. Okay, so this is going to be our client route. Yep. And we'll say div. The goal of this project is to show an example of how to do multiple parameters in a Remix app. So we have the one parameter right here, and so we're going to say use params. And here params. And we'll say client here, and this will be our H3 client params. Oh, you don't need a $, Kent. Goodness. Client ID, and this use params is from Remix. All right, sweet. But this is not a terminal route. This will also have here. Actually, let's stop right there. Let's just make sure that this is working. Hello from the index route, and then we're on clients, client index, and then let's see. How about JDogs is a client of ours. Client JDogs, sweet. And that can actually be an H2. There we go. Okay, cool. So now, let's say that we want to have it like a route for their invoices. So we're going to say client ID slash, let's see, invoices TSX. Okay, so I'm just, yeah, okay. So we don't need an index route for this, but just for the fun of it, we'll have one, just to show so people can see, like, what if I don't have an invoice selected? What goes into that outlet? This is what will go into that outlet. So client index, or yeah, index route, And this will be our H3 client index route. And here we actually can use params in here also. Params. Oh man, I don't know why that dollar is coming in. Params in client ID. Okay, cool. Invoices. That is unexpected. Let's see, because we're not rendering an outlet. I think. No, yeah, that is not correct. It should. Invoices. So it's client ID / oh, because it's hitting the invoice. Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. Obviously. So if I go out of the invoices, then there we go. Client JDogs index route. That's right. Okay, so now we're going to have a component for invoices route. And client params. You know what? I'm tired of typing the same old thing every time. This will be our H3, and then invoices. Okay, sweet. So now if I go to invoices, then there we are, client JDogs invoices. And then if I want to have like a specific invoice, then I can say invoice ID. And, oh, actually, hold on. Yeah, invoice ID. Hold on. So it's invoices, and then we'll need an invoices directory. Invoices, TSX. Oh, wait. Invoices directory / index TSX. And remix component invoice index, invoices index route. Actually, you know what? We want this to be, no, this is right, this is right. Okay. Sorry, it's confusing when you're doing something a little bit on the contrived side, but, okay, we'll do H4. I think this would be H4, invoice index route. And we want, yeah, actually, let's just do this. Invoice, client, invoice index route. Yep. There we go. Invoice index route. All right, and this will be our H4. Okay, so then if I go to /invoices, then I'm going to get JDogs invoices, and then because I don't have a specific invoice specified in the URL, then I get my index route. But if I have an invoice ID right here, then I'm going to get client invoice params invoice ID. Okay, and this will be our H4 there. And this is a terminal route. We don't have anything below this. Okay, cool. So then I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. And so in our client JDogs invoices, we're gonna, I'll actually build all this out a little bit more to make it more practical. I'll have some links and some places and stuff. But this is basically what it looks like. So you have your routes, you have your index for that, and then for the part of the URL for clients, so if you want /clients, this is what's gonna show up for that. And then for the index, so you have nothing other than clients, then this is what shows up in the rest of it. If you have a client ID, then this is what shows up for that. And then if you don't have anything after that, then this is what shows up in the outlet. If you do have invoices, then this is what shows up for the invoices. And yeah, this is what shows up for the invoices. And then if you have nothing after the invoices, so it's just /invoices, then you get your index route. If you have an invoice ID after that, then you'll get your invoice ID. And that's how you do multiple params with Remix. So now I'm just going to build this out a little bit further so that we can have links and stuff so people can click around and whatnot. So let's do some like pretend data, right? So here's our DB. We don't need it to be JSX, right? So we'll just do this. And here's our export a function that is get clients. How far do I want this to go? Do I want this to be really that complicated? Probably not. So yeah, we'll just have like, you can get all the clients, and they have their invoices along with them. So we're gonna have, sure, our ID of 1, John Doe. You know what? I don't need all that info. Just the name is sufficient. And then invoices. ID of 1, sure. Amount of 100, currency euros, I guess. Why not? And this ID will be 2 and 1, 2, 3 USD. Sure, that's fun. Okay, and then we'll have another client with Cody Koala, and this is user ID 2. Oh, you know what? These IDs are going to show up in the URL. Let's do something a little bit more useful. Yeah, let's do, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Is that useful? No, it's not. Let's just do one. No, like, I want to do something that at least feels a little more realistic. So, let's do, here, actually, you know, want to know a cool way to generate a random ID-ish looking thing? Math.random gives me a bunch of these, but to hex string 32. Oh no, what it is? What is it? It's to string 32. There we go. So now that looks pretty random, and then slice off that 0 dot. Thank you. I'm glad you like the background music. I am using this playlist. Where is it? Here it is. It's titled Royalty-Free Beats for Streaming, and it's great. Should I favorite it? There we go. Favorited. Saved to my library. Okay, so we'll slice off the first 2. I think actually you just put 1. Yeah, 2. Just kidding. The first 2 indexes, and now you've got yourself a random ID. So that's cool. And this will be different every time we start the server, but that's fine. So here, let's just move all these out so that it is consistent over the life of the server. Clients. And here's our ID. Get ID. There we go. And there. Now, it is possible, unlikely, but possible that you wind up with 2 things with the same ID. But that doesn't matter because this is a demo. And so we don't need to worry about those sorts of problems. Okay, cool. So now we got a bunch of IDs and clients and all that stuff. So then we come into, let's see, where do we want to show this? We probably want to show this if we come to the index route. It's just like, hello from the index route. So we don't need this on the root necessarily. All I need in the index route is to have a link that takes me to clients. And maybe I could put that in here. Actually, we could have like our nav right here. Yeah, let's do that. We'll make a component for this. Nav. Link to home. And of course we're going to need the nav, we'll need the UL and all this garbage. Stick that in there. And this is going to go to our clients. And of course we're going to want to render that, otherwise it will not work. Okay, cool. So now I can go to clients, I can go home, and back and forth. Good stuff. Okay, so then on the clients page, or the clients route, we're going to want a loader here. So let's get a remix loader. And here I'm going to have clients, which is an array of objects that have an ID and a name. That's all I really need. So then get clients And all we need is the ID and the name. So let's do this. That's what I wanted. Thank you. My goodness, I love this tool. Copilot is amazing. Okay, sweet. So then I can say use loader data. Use loader data. And then I can render out. Sure, thank you. Let's see how far this will go. Well, it's not quite right, but it's close enough for a pure programmer who doesn't know what they're doing. We actually don't need to construct the URL anymore. Who wants to tell Copilot that you don't have to do that with nested routing? Okay, cool. So if I go to clients, I've got John Doe and Cody Koala. Sweet. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Oh, actually, you know what? It occurs to me that every time I refresh, we actually clear the cache. Yeah, huh. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. It was fun. Yeah, so we clear the cache, and so these clients are regenerated every single time we refresh the page. So as fun as it was to use this getID function, we are actually gonna just copy what that created for us and replace it. And we'll do the same for this. And this one, just borrow a bunch of the different generated IDs so that they're consistent. It's better for them to be consistent anyway. Okay, run that a couple more times. Okay, cool. So now it's going to be consistent every time. We don't have to have that code in there anymore. And that means we can also move it out of the module scope, which is probably better anyway. Okay, sweet. Yeah, that's good. So I got Cody and John Doe. Sweet. So far so good. Now, and it's cool, right? Because I don't have to send all the invoices, but I don't care that it actually has all the invoices because this is server side, so it's fine. I like that. I could do UUID 24. I totally could do that. But yeah, this one's working pretty well. I think it looks nice. Okay, cool. So next is, oh, I just realized I forgot to do something. Give me half a second. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we get back, then we will continue. This will be very fast. It won't take long at all. All right, there. So we've got all of our client data. We've got links and all that. So when I click on this, it's just showing me the client and then the client index route. And in the index route, let's go ahead and put a loader in here to get the client. And you know what? Let's go in our DB and let's make a type for the client. So ID is a string, name is a string, invoices is an array of invoice. That is not what I wanted. There we go. Okay. And an invoice has an ID that's a string, an amount that's a number, and a currency that is whatever, all that. Sure, yeah, all of those. Why not? We'll export both of these, and then we'll come over here and we'll say this is an array of pick from the client, the ID, and the name. And we'll bring in the client. Cool. And then this is just a client, so not an array. And I think we still want to do just the ID, just the ID and name. Maybe we could add like an address or something like that. I don't know. Okay, cool. So let's bring that in. And client is await get client by ID. So let's add that to our database abstraction here. Export function, a function. There we go. Get client ID, which is expected to be a string, and clients await get clients return clients find. That's what I wanted. Thank you, Copilot. So that means now that I can say get client with our params. Brian loves throwing invariants all over the place, and I think that's probably, is that okay to do in our examples? Like, it's always like, how much real do you want to put in your example, and how much of that is just distraction? See, like if I were doing this in a real app, then I would use Zod for all of this stuff. But I'm going to make an example of Zod. Is that even on my list? I didn't see it, so I'm going to add it really quick. Example, Zod. Assignee, Kent C. Dodds. Save that. I think I'm just going to say, we're going to not do any fixing of any's or anything like that outside of like examples that are like, hey, this is a full app, or like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to be type safe. So yeah, unless it's like, here's a full app or something like that, then I'm not going to make it type safe. Okay, so, or I'm not going to do extra work to make it type safe. So we'll say params client ID. Oh, actually, no, this is the index route for, hold on a second, where am I? This is the client. Okay, routes, clients, index. So this is not where I wanted to be, actually. I want those things, though. So this is when there is no client selected. I want it where there is a client selected. Okay. And we're, whoops. There we go. Okay, so sweet. We get client. Why is get client not acceptable? Okay, and this is complaining because it could be undefined. If not client, yeah, return, redirect, clients. There we go. Sure. I can do a little bit of that to make TypeScript at least happy. Okay, just noticed a couple chats. Would you consider using a keylogger for your streams? You can give small remind. Oh, that's two different comments. A keylogger, one that like shows the little logs and stuff. I actually saw on the, let's see, there was a new feature in VS Code for that. I'm hesitant to do that because sometimes I type passwords and stuff, and like, is it gonna, like, I don't type them in here, but that'll be like no good. I guess I could reset passwords and stuff, but I don't expect I ever would type it inside of VS Code. So let's see. No. Stream logger key. Oh shoot. Okay, let's see. There was release notes. Release notes. Show commands in screencast mode. Screencast mode. Oh, okay. I didn't even realize that was like a thing. Screencast mode. Oh boy, that is annoying. I'm sorry. I cannot do that. Sorry. I realize that it may be useful to you, but wow, that will get annoying so fast. So I gotta turn that off. Sorry. Yeah, I couldn't do it. That is super annoying. Okay. Well, with that in mind, this is complaining because I have extra oh, it could be undefined. Also, I only want some parts of the client. I don't need all the invoices on this page. So, yeah, so here we're going to get our client. Client, if there's not a client, then, yeah, I should get rid of the habit of doing that one-liner sort of thing in examples and stuff. We're actually, you know what? We're going to throw a redirect, because what's nice about that is if I wanted to abstract this away into another function, then I wouldn't have to worry about the return. And it functions exactly the same. I just spilled a bunch of water on myself and on the floor. Whoops. Okay, so we're gonna throw a, in this case, this is gonna be, I guess, yeah, it's just a response. Yeah. Because I don't need a body or anything, so new response, with a status of 404. And I can put like, no client found. Here, we can give a little bit more context by ID params client ID. Okay, cool. So now we know we've got a client, but this client has a bunch of extra data that I don't want. So we actually just want the ID, client ID, and the name, client name. Okay, cool. And then JSON data, there it is. Okay, so then use loader data, loader data. We're not going to do the params anymore. Data, client name. Do we need the ID? We don't. We just need the name. Isn't that cool that I can just do that? Say all this thing has is a name. That's cool. I think I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, sweet. So, let's take a refresh here. Client, John Doe. Nice. Cody Koala. All right, so then we don't have anything useful in invoices. Okay, quick question. Oh, somebody said, can you give a small reminder of what loader function means? This is just a type that is saying that this function implements the type loader function, and so it gives me typings on my return type as well as the parameters and stuff. Yeah, so sweet. So in our index right here, we can just say client index route. Sure. And our and we want to have a link to the invoices. We could actually do that in here. So link client, or actually, yeah, home, I guess, to here. And link to invoices, client invoices. And let's put that, no, I'll just put these each in individual divs. I suppose I could put display block on them, but okay, cool. Oh, whoops, my bad. Nested routing for the win. And let's wonder if we should just do, I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. Here, let's do this. There. And then maybe actually this makes more sense to do a UL. Sure. Close, but no cigar. I missed something. There we go. Yeah, sweet. All right, good stuff. So on the invoices page, we want the list of invoices. So let's do our loader. Invoices, array of invoices. And we're gonna also pick, because all we care about is the ID. And maybe, should there be like a title for our invoices? Suppose that would make sense. Title, string. Or like maybe a description or something. Anyway, title, invoice 1, sure. You know what, let's make it more interesting. Teddy bear and tacos. And here, this was a water bottle and camera. Okay. Cool, so we're gonna want that or the title, or yeah, so we're picking both of those types. Invoices is gonna be client equal, you know what, we're gonna need to do a couple of the same things that we're doing in the client ID around here. And we could probably abstract this maybe when we're done, it'll make sense. So params, client ID, we want params. Let's bring in the loader function type. Bring in the redirect and JSON while we're at it. And get client. Okay, cool. Okay, so if there's no client ID, send them back to the client. We could send a 404, I suppose. But yeah, at this point, this is unlikely to happen in a regular case. If somebody tried to hit this API directly, though, like that is always possible, then a redirect, I suppose, makes the most sense. So, yeah, that's totally an abstraction waiting to happen. So yeah, then we're gonna get our client that has all of our invoices on it. If there is no client, then we couldn't find a client by that ID, so we'll throw that. That will happen in our parent as well, so this also, in a regular situation, probably won't ever happen, but it's there to make TypeScript happy and for the case when a user tries to hit this endpoint directly for some weird reason. Okay, cool. So now we've got our invoices, and all we care about is the ID and the title, so as a client. Sure, thank you. My goodness. Copilot, you are something else. Okay. Right here, where we're entering the clients, we probably want to do basically the same thing with our invoices. We'll just title this Invoices, because we'll get more context from our parent anyway. We'll want our that thing. Thank you, Copilot. And Invoices. We'll rename that to Invoice. Title, and bring in link. Cool. We can get rid of that. So now I got my water bottle and my camera. Nice. Yeah, and then for the index route, we can say no invoice selected. Or let's just put please select an invoice. And that's probably what we should do for our client index as well. Please select a client. Cool. So now if we're on clients, then please select a client, then you choose one, and there you are. Please select an invoice. That's interesting. Why is it saying please select an invoice for that? Yes, because I put it in the wrong spot. Yeah, so actually what we want here is like all of the data for the client. That's what we want. Yeah, okay, so we'll say the client, and not all the data. We're gonna leave off the invoices, but like everything except for the invoices. So the ID and the name. I could say omit on the client the invoices, but I think it's probably more clear to do it this way. It's more real world-ish. That's normally what you would do. Okay, cool. So we should probably add some catch boundaries too. Don't let me forget to add some catch boundaries. Okay, so we've got our client. Yeah, ID. Actually, you know what? Well, yeah, we don't really need the ID. We just need the name. If we had more data about the client, then maybe that would make sense, but yeah, we don't. Hello. Yeah, see, that's the thing. We're already displaying the client's name. So let's add one more thing to the client so that this is useful. Email johndoe@example.com. And there we go. And you know what, let's, we don't technically need the ID because we have it in the params, but I kind of like putting it all in the data, and it's not gonna like make or break the amount of data we're sending over the wire anyway. So client.id and email, client.email. And are you gonna let me do this? Yeah, there we go. I think that looks a little nicer. Okay. Thank you. Bring in use loader data. So it occurs to me that this is another, or an instance where it may make sense to put the client in context or get the loader data from somewhere else. And I had a big long conversation with Ryan about this today, and we're going to make another example for that. So I'm going to leave that out of this, but you might have noticed that like each one of these routes is getting the client and sending bits and pieces of the client. And so we've got like a denormalized UI that actually doesn't matter. We only normalize in the client because we're very inefficient at with other frameworks. We're very inefficient with what we're sending, and it's just hard to manage. And so it's easier to say, well, here's the source of truth. Well, you've got your loaders and everything tied directly to the component that's using it. So it's much less of a problem here. But sometimes there can be like maybe a lot of data that you're sending, and so you don't want to send it unnecessarily. And so there are solutions for that, and they're pretty easy, but I'm going to leave that out of this example, and we'll make another one for that. I think, I need to put that one on my list also. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's now on my list. I've got such a long list. You know what? Another one. Examples, animated routes. And another one. Oh, it was in my head. Yeah, I18N. It's always a good one. Examples. RTL. That's not reaccessing library. And LTR. Left to right, right to left. That's what that is. That'd probably be a good one. Oh yeah, Tailwind, probably be a good one. Tailwind. So many examples to write up. Okay. Yeah, animated routes does sound cool. Check this out. So if we go to the Call Kent podcast and we choose one of these. Oh, rats. I just broke this and I just deployed a fix and I guess the deploy failed maybe. Or maybe I didn't. Nope, it failed. What did I mess up? My health check gave me a 500. Hold, man. Okay, I don't think there's anything sensitive in this command, but just to be safe. I got a restart on Hong Kong. Is that the one that failed? Looks like it was Chennai that was having trouble. But it's healthy right now. Here, fly and restart. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, there's like some stuff in here. I don't think that it's a problem for me to show it to you, but I'll just be safe. Okay. I think what we're just gonna kick the tires on this. We'll see if it works. But anyway, animated routes. This is animated when I don't break stuff. Because it's scrolling to the top, but it's actually animating is what's happening behind the scenes. What you're not seeing is the animation, and it's really cool. Okay, anyway, multilingual example. Yeah, so I18N, that's what that is. I will have that example eventually. Okay, cool. So, and actually like an authentication example that's like isolated. So like we've got the remix jokes tutorial that does authentication, but it might be nice to do like, here's just stripped down only authentication example. Might be useful. I don't know. Okay, cool. So we've got all of our client data right here. Data client dot name information. Put that in a strong. And then, sure. Yeah, thank you, Copilot. That was nice. Then we can come over here. Sweet. Cody Qual information. ID is this and email is that. Cool, so that's what you have when you go home. And then invoices, you got these. Okay, yeah. So here, when you're on invoices, we want to say, on the index route, we want to say, please select an invoice. And actually, please select an invoice. Sweet. So then we can select the invoice, and now we're on the invoice ID. And with this now, we can grab all this stuff. this will be a single invoice. Client invoices find. Error, and actually, if not params dot invoice ID. Yep, that's what we'll do. Actually, you know what? This would be, yeah, this should probably be a 404. In fact, all of these should be 404 responses. New response, no invoice ID, or found by, yeah, all that stuff. Okay, cool. So then we'll change this one to throw a new response. And we'll replace the rest of these with that. And we'll add catch boundaries here later. Okay, cool. So invoice. There's not an invoice or no invoice ID provided. I think I borrowed that from something else. Nope, I didn't. Okay, cool. So if there's not an invoice, thank you, Copilot. No invoice found by ID that. Sweet. So invoice, and that's it, actually. This is complaining because string is not assigned. Oh, okay, right. So we need to say that clients is an array of client. Then return. Or, you know what, we could also do and this is going to complain because it's a promise. There we go. Sweet. So next, yes, thank you, Copilot. That's exactly what I wanted to do. And we'll just do all this stuff. Oh, okay, fine. You're not quite there. We don't want a link. We want something that's more like display invoice data in an unordered list. All right, now do you know what I mean? Now can you do this for me? Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, well, you thought that I had a date. I don't have a date. Okay, so we've got our ID, title, amount, and there's a currency also. Thanks, Copilot. All right, and we'll just do all this. All right, sweet. Please select the client, John Doe. Here we are at home. Here's his info. Here's the invoices page. Teddy bear, tacos. Yeah. There you go. That's your nested routing with multiple params. So yeah, I think the last thing we need to think about is catch boundaries and error boundaries, I suppose. So if we go to blah, and we get an unhandled thrown response. So we need to have a nice contextual thing in there. Hold on one second. Okay. So let's do our remix catch boundary. And for just the for over work case, you know what? Yeah. Okay, and then here's our use catch. And we'll say, couldn't find an invoice with the ID of params invoice ID. That is not, use invoice or use params. There we go. Okay, sweet. Couldn't find an invoice with the invoice ID of blah. That's nice and contextual, isn't it? I like it. I don't like this switch statement when it's just like the one. There's no code actions available. I can't just say, right, caught status. And then while we're at it, have our error boundary. Uh-oh, I did a whoopsies. Okay, there we go. Sweet. And so even if we do some sort of whoopsies, like for example, say it's a 402, uh-oh, I did a whoopsies, and we get our error right there. Unexpected error or thrown error response, whatever. Yeah, it's cool. Okay, great. Let's go to other places where we are making similar throw. Oh, no way. Oh, this is I want just in the examples multiple params. I was like, I don't think I wrote the word throw that much today. Okay, so then on invoices. Yep, right here. Here, actually, let's copy all this stuff because I wanna. Example for maintaining large files. I'm not sure what that means in the context of remix, so I don't know if I can help with that. Okay, so this one is how to test components. Yes, that will come eventually. I will add that to my list. Example, testing components or routes. Yeah, that one's coming eventually. I need to do some work on the testing story for remix for sure. In fact, I need to add that. Testing remix apps or remix routes and components. Yeah. Yeah, probably should get to that sooner than later. So much stuff to do. And I'm leaving in about a half hour-ish, so. Has a material UI integration example been created yet? No, we don't have one. And by the way, you're all welcome to make examples. The Remix repo is open source. Just go into the examples directory and go to town. So on the subject of large files and stuff, making it small and testable, I don't break up files unnecessarily. I don't know. I like to keep things close to where they're being used, and I'll take it out if I need to reuse it, or if it's like really complicated and needs to be tested in isolation or something. But yeah, the MUI thing, somebody discussed that in Discord. I did see that as well. I'm sure it works. I can't imagine why it wouldn't. Sorry, just scheduling something with somebody. Okay, so couldn't find on this page. It's couldn't find the client. It's unlikely that this will ever happen though, so I'm gonna get rid of this one because this is gonna be handled in the parent anyway. Although the error boundary will be useful, it's just not the catch boundary. Because there's nothing we're trying to do, or yeah, none of these responses are we throwing that wouldn't be handled by the parent anyway. So we'll just do the error boundary. Okay. And that is, let's see. Yeah, that's the same story for our index here as well. So error boundary is still useful, but catch boundary less so. Okay, so then we'll come in here. Cannot find a client with the ID of client ID. So then if I come over here and I'm like, I want to see the thing for Kablooey. Well, I couldn't find a client with the ID of Kablooey, and that's why, yeah, we don't need to worry about the client ID for the invoices because we don't even render that component anyway. But it's still useful to have in your code because some user could hit that endpoint directly. So it's still good to have in there, but your component doesn't need to worry about it. So, sweet. It's all contextual and nice. So here we have a catch boundary for the invoice. Here's one for the client. And I think that's, I suppose it's possible that we don't have any clients, but I think that's fine. Protected routing. Yeah, that would probably be a sensible thing. Let's see, where's my example protected routes. I should probably make it a tag. I'm prefixing all of these with example, but like Linear has the concept of tags, I believe. Label. Yeah, label. Can I make a new label here? Yeah, create new label. Example. Oh yeah, they've got router examples, remix example. Ooh, what color should it be? Green. Let's go with green. Okay, sweet. Let me go add all that. Here, let's do. Sorry, I know you can't see this. I will not be here long. Okay, and label those with example, remix examples. Okay, cool. How do I unselect all of these? Escape. That makes sense. Okay. Okay, anyway, getting back to this. On the clients page, if there are no clients, then we should probably have something. So data clients.length. Otherwise, you got no clients. Yeah, but we're not going to need to test that. That's fine. Okay. Clients. There. Boom. Boom. Look at all that. Nested routes up the wazoo. That is cool. And we could keep going. We could have like a details or comments. And then, yeah. But I think people will get the idea. The biggest reason that this is a question for people is that they kind of naturally just say ID and then ID. And so they'll have two that are IDs, and that will not work. Yeah, only one ID. Okay, I think that's solid. So let's commit this thing. That's weird. It did not just run it against. Oh, because that's where it is. Well, fine. I guess it ran. So it works. Okay, sweet. Oh, you know what? One thing that we need to fix is that this cache directory is included. It is not in the gitignore. So, where did I gitignore? Cache. Okay, let's make sure we've got everything that we expect in here. Yeah, I suppose this also should have the cache, but that's like /cache. Wonder if we did that. And we updated this, we don't need that. Yeah, that's what it should be. Wonder if we did that. Yeah, see, now it wants to add it. Yeah, that's not gonna work. And the only reason that the public build is not showing up, I'm not sure why it's not showing up actually. Is it? It's not. I don't know why. Huh. Well, we'll just do all these without the slash at the front. Michal is saying, would you recommend using linear even for people who are working alone on a project? I don't know. The only reason I use linear is because they were using it before I got here. It seems to be pretty cool. I don't know. Could be useful. Useful way to track things. What did I do before? I didn't. I took notes on Notepad. That worked out pretty well. Yeah. I mean, linear seems pretty cool. I like it. Okay, cool. So let's do this. We want docs examples. Add multiple nested routing example. That is a stupid commit. It's not multiple nested routing, it's multiple params. Multiple params example. Let's just do a quick poll, just in case. Sweet. Here we go. You got yourself a multiple nested routing example. Now, is there somewhere in the docs that I could link to this? Probably. I probably should have included that in the commit. Whoops. But I think we want guide. No, not in guides. It will be in conventions. And this is going to be route. Naming. File name. Convention something. File name conventions. There we go. Dynamic route parameters. Oh, and we have a routing guide too, but should I put that in here? You can also have multiple params. For example, what is our example? Clients, client ID, invoices, invoice ID. Is he using colon? Yeah, he is. Oh. Oh wait, no, we already got it. Yeah, there can be multiple parameters in any. View example app. There we go. We'll just put that there. What playlist is this? You missed it earlier. I showed it. And I'll show it to you again because it's fun. Royalty-free beats for streaming. It's pretty cool. Okay, so here's our example app, and we want... What is the best way to learn to code? To do it. This is not a live stream to teach you to learn to teach you how to code, though. This is you're welcome to hang out here. Happy to have you. But yeah, I'm not teaching brand new people how to code right now. Okay, so we've got our examples, multiple params. I should probably update the README as well. So multiple params README, multiple params example. Then, and actually, we've got some READMEs. I should probably update this README too. Search TV show example. This demonstrates, yeah, search param, query param thing. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's what it is. Search input. Yeah, we can have all that stuff. Sure. All right. Actually, you know what? On this other one, I think it would make more sense to say search input example. And you know what? We're going to rename it to search input. Okay, sweet. Multiple params. The example. This shows how you can structure your routes to support multiple parameters. Here's the output of remix routes for this project. So examples, multiple remix routes. TSX, JSX. I don't know what GitHub's going to do with that. Let's find out. So if I go in here and I say, oh, whoops. preview that. That's not bad. What if I say JSX? That is better, I think, right? I can't even remember. Yeah, so JSX looks better. What if I just say TS? That is not good. What if I say JS? That looks just like JSX. I think JSX looks best. Okay. Okie dokie. And then we got our code sandbox examples. Oh, I need to update the search TV show one since I just renamed it to search input. This one is multiple params. Okay. Docs, examples, improve readme for examples. Well, I'm gonna stick this up here. Well, no, it's probably fine where it is. Okay. There we go. That looks nice. You know what? One last thing. This is, oh my goodness. Oh yeah, I just ran into this. The same thing. It just keeps on building and building and building. And it doesn't delete the old ones. Yes, there's an issue open about this, but that is really annoying. Oh, you know what? This might actually be a result of the way that I set up new projects. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's grab all this. Here, let's actually just do the app directory. Here's the file structure for this project. No language for that one. And here's the output of, yeah, there we go. That is handy. Docs, multiple, or examples. Add file structure to multiple params. Okay, there we go. Last push, I promise. Probably, maybe should make a pull request instead. Whoops. Okay, and then edit on Code Sandbox, and boom, y'all can edit this on Code Sandbox right now, and it works. Hopefully, pretty sure it should. I think it will work better if I add this sandbox config. Yeah. We should probably do that here also, and we've got that there. Chore, examples, add code sandbox config. I mean, looks like it worked okay. Anyway, maybe they detect Remix these days. That would be cool. Looks like it's using the Remix app template. Yeah, maybe they do detect Remix apps. That'd be pretty cool, actually. Yeah, cool. Then you have all this stuff. Okay, sweet. Well, check that off. We got multiple params done. Okay, the time is 3:54. I will not have time to finish or even get very far in another example. maybe a good example, have CRUD routes that can be called using post put delete. Yes. That is, I have an example for multiple forms and a single action. And so yes, this will be a thing. We will do that. Yeah, if you wanted to comply with OpenAPI, that would be a different example. That would be like, let's talk about resource routes that comply with OpenAPI. I suppose I can add that. OpenAPI. And we'll put the label examples. Resource routes and OpenAPI spec. Okay, that's on my backlog. Oh yeah, there it is. Zod. Did I add that today? Okay. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have time for. This was fun. Thanks for hanging out. And I will be live streaming more. So look forward to more of that. And hope you all have a wonderful, awesome day. And yeah, that's it. Goodbye.